everyone, I'll be showcasing my upgraded decorated cake build. I'll show you how it's doing, what every building is making, and how it's doing so well, because this design is doing far better than I would have imagined it would do. So this one is doing about 13.3 decorated cakes per hour. No NFTs are required to make this work, which is pretty insane. That's how well it's doing. So I'm only using the NFTs that I cannot turn off, which are the enchanted ornaments and enchanted fireworks, but they don't improve the rates at all. And at 13.3 decorated cakes per hour, I think this one is very competitive. The design for this decorated cake build was actually based off the first idea I came up with when trying to come up with a design for the upcoming competition. I did have to make a lot of tweaks in order to actually get it to work the way I wanted it to work, and I was aiming for somewhere around 12 to 13 decorated cakes per hour, but I did manage to surpass 13 decorated cakes per hour, which makes me really happy to see I was able to actually make this many. To the bottom left will be the area with all the trees and the crops. So there's a total of 15 tree farms, 1 cocoa tree, 7 sugarcane fields, 4 wheat fields, 5 peppermint fields. They do have shade casted on them, but they do not care about the shade. And 8 salt fields, all next to the ocean edge, so they are all at a green craft timer. There are a total of 42 windmills, but 6 of those are on a green craft timer. So starting with salt, I have 5 windmills making salt, all on a green craft timer, so they're able to craft salt at only 30 seconds. Then I have 21 windmills making sugar. 1 is on the green craft timer on the corner over here. And then I'll be quickly showing you the 20 that are on a red craft timer. And then I have 16 windmills making flour, all of which are on the red craft timer. And you can see that some of them are on this second row over here, facing down. So they're able to get to this silo quicker, which is the one that's going to be having the wheat, which I'll explain in a moment. For the livestock, there are 6 milk barns. All of them are separated in groups of 2. 2 chicken coops. 1 is sort of far away to the west side over here. 1 is up here. And there are a total of 36 meadows for them to feed on. For the workers, there are a total of 7 logger houses, 9 tractors, and 3 ATVs. For the storage, there are 3 silos, 3 storehouses, which are all pretty separate from each other, and 1 fuel storage. There is no woodshed or lumberyard in the end, but you would temporarily have one in one of these meadow spots. And at the very end, you would just replace it for the meadow. There are 2 candy shops, both of which have 5 passive energy from the 2 power plants that are nearby. 2 bakeries, both of them crafting butter. 3 cakeries, one of them is crafting cake and it has 3 passive energy from the power plants nearby, and the other 2 cakeries are crafting batter. And there are 2 chocolate shops. One is making chocolate bars and the other one is making decorated cake. For the industrial area, there are 2 power plants, 2 water pumps, and between all of that, there's the refinery crafting gasoline, and to the side, there's the refinery crafting petroleum. There is an oil seep that provides passive crude oil for the refinery crafting petroleum and both of the power plants, so it's easy to make energy in this setup when it's required to build all the buildings that you need. Also, there is no lumber mill required at the end, but you could have 2 temporary lumber mills during the build process right here, and then at the very end just get rid of them and replace them with a windmill. And finally, there is a trade depot in this exact spot right here. I'm going to show you the reasoning of why I have the silos and the crops the way I have them. So starting off with the silo at the south side right here, that one should be taking in all the wheat from the 4 wheat fields. That's why I have a bunch of windmills over here making flour, so it'll be more efficient. It will also take in sugarcane from one of the sugarcane fields, but that's fine because I have 3 silos behind it making sugar, and it'll also take in peppermint from one of the peppermint fields. Now the second silo should take in most of the sugarcane from 5 of the sugarcane fields. It'll also take in peppermint from one of the peppermint fields. And that's why I have most of the windmills here making sugar, as well as this one is the closest one to the candy shops for peppermint. Now it doesn't take in most of the peppermint, just keep that in mind. And this third silo over here is closest to the ocean edge, so it'll be taking in all the brine as long as there's space. It'll also be taking in most of the peppermint, since this peppermint has the most shade casted upon it by the nearby buildings. But it's fine, the candy shops can still make the trip and they'll still make all the candy canes that they need to make. And the cocoa from the cocoa tree should be deposited into the silo for easy pickup by the chocolate shop. Now occasionally this silo is the one that gets full first, just because there's a lot of items going into it, as well as one of the sugarcane fields, this one right here. That sugarcane will also go here, but I also have windmills over here making sugar, so it gets picked up easily, as well as the one on the corner. So yeah, this one will get full, and occasionally brine and cocoa will also go to this silo, but it's completely fine. It's still, everything still gets the items that it needs incredibly quickly, and it's still efficient. Now I'm going to show you auto sell, same as the regular decorated cake build. I have all the crops at an auto sell at amount of 12, so that would be wheat, sugarcane, brine, peppermint, and cocoa, and everything else should be at an auto sell at amount of 10. The only thing you don't need to auto sell is gasoline. And here is what the build looks like on the visualizer. So it'll cost a little over 9 million cash to build. It's actually cheaper to build than my regular decorated cake build, and the wages are also lower at 13,170 per minute. You can find the file for this visualizer on my Discord server, and if you need an invite link, it's in the description of the video. That's it for the showcase, so hopefully this gave you an idea on how you could or could have improved your decorated cake design. If you found this helpful or informative, leave a like, leave a comment with any questions or feedback you may have. Consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. And if you want to help support the channel, I have links in the description of the video on how you could do so. As always, I appreciate your support and thank you for watching.